PaM++ Brand Talk, your go-to podcast for smart branding and real marketing.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to PaM++ Brand Talk podcast. My name is Pam, and I'll be facilitating our podcast today with Sage and Mara. Our topic today is personalization versus privacy, striking the right balance in modern marketing. So let's hear it, guys.
Today, we're cutting right to the heart of a really fascinating and, let's be honest, often tricky challenge. It's this balance between personalization and privacy in modern marketing. Think of it like a delicate dance, maybe?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
On one side, you've got this incredible potential for brands, creating experiences that feel totally tailor-made for you. Sometimes anticipating what you need before you even know it.
Right.
But then, on the other side, there's this growing need, this imperative, really, to safeguard your personal information. Making sure your digital footprint isn't just tracked and stored without you, knowing or agreeing to it.
Exactly.
So our mission for this deep dive is to unpack how brands are trying, or should be trying, to use data and AI to make your experience better, but without sacrificing your privacy. And let me just say, it's a real tightrope walk. A lot of brands are still figuring it out.
It absolutely is. And what's really key to grasp right away is that this isn't like an either thing. You can't just pick one. Personalization, when it works, when it really hits the mark, it's incredibly powerful. It can seriously drive engagement, boost conversions, build real loyalty. But the second it goes wrong or pushes just a bit too far, it risks this fundamental breach of trust. And that can alienate customers faster than almost anything else. So for brands, the stakes in getting this balance right, they're huge.
Okay, so let's dig into that power of personalization first, because we've all felt it, right?
Oh, definitely.
That kind of slightly eerie, maybe, but also undeniably convenient moment. Like you browse for something specific online, say a pair of running shoes, and then bam, for the next week, ads for those exact shoes are popping up everywhere you look online.
Following you around the internet.
Exactly. Or my personal favorite, Netflix. It's almost, unsettling how well it suggests films or shows you never even knew existed, but then you just
binge the whole thing.
You binge the whole weekend.
Yeah.
It makes you feel kind of seen, understood, like the brand gets you.
Yeah.
That bespoke feeling, it could really build a connection.
And what's really game-changing for the brands here is how that translates directly into, business value, serious value.
Right.
It's not just about making the experience nice. It's about making every single marketing dollar work harder. Instead of that old, spray and pray method where you just throw generic stuff out there and hope something sticks. Personalization lets them craft messages that really resonate, that speak right to your individual tastes, hit the right timing. This makes their marketing spend way more effective, much more efficient, higher engagement, better conversion rates. It's a very seductive idea for businesses. And for good reason. But, like you said, this constant push for relevance, it comes with this unavoidable and growing privacy tension.
And this is where it gets really sticky, isn't it? Because, we often like the convenience of a good recommendation, but the flip side, the thought that every click, every search, basically every move we make online is being tracked, crunched by AI algorithms, stored in these massive databases, that can make a lot of us feel, deeply uncomfortable.
Yeah.
When personalization works, great, it's helpful. But when it feels invasive or worse, manipulative, that convenience just vanishes.
Yeah.
And you're left with this kind of unease.
And that unease, it's turning into real active concern. As our digital lives just keep expanding, people are getting much, much savvier about how much of their personal info is being scooped up.
They're starting to notice more.
Definitely. They're starting to ask, hang on, do I really want this company knowing that much about me? And the answer quite often is no, especially when they feel like they have zero control over what's being shared or how it's used.
Right, that lack of control is key.
It puts brands in a really tough spot. On one hand, more data seems like it would let them fine-tune everything perfectly, surgically precise marketing almost. But on the other hand, there's a very, very fine line between being relevant and accidentally stepping into what people feel is just creepy territory.
Creepy line,
And believe me, once you cross that line, rebuilding that trust is an incredibly difficult uphill battle. Often it's just impossible.
So if brands are feeling this heat, what's the best tool they have? What's the most powerful way to try and bridge that gap, rebuild that trust with customers?
Transparency, without a doubt.
Transparency, okay.
It sounds maybe a bit obvious, but it's so often undervalued or just frankly done poorly. Transparency means being absolutely upfront and clear about what data they're collecting from you, how they plan to use it, and this is critical how you can control it.
Okay, so break that down. What does that look like in practice?
Well, imagine you're browsing a website, or you sign up for a newsletter, or you start using a brand's app. Right there, at that moment of interaction, the brand needs to make it super clear. Spell it out simply. Something like, hey, we track your browsing here to show you products you might like, but you can easily turn this off right here if you want.
So it's not just saying we're transparent, buried somewhere in a privacy policy nobody reads.
Exactly. That doesn't cut it.
It's about clear communication and giving customers the actual controls, the brains, right? Empowering them.
Precisely. It's absolutely crucial to offer really easy to find, easy to use options. Let people opt in or out of specific data collection. Let them adjust their preferences whenever they feel like it. Think about maybe a central preference center dashboard, somewhere you can easily see all your settings and just click to change them. When customers feel genuinely in control of their own data, guess what? They're often much more willing to share the information that actually does help create meaningful personalization.
Interesting. So control leads to more willing sharing.
It's a psychological shift, right? You go from feeling potentially exploited to feeling empowered, and that's where real trust gets built. And another big part of this transparency is showing that you take data security seriously, like really seriously.
Look, because if I don't trust you to keep it safe.
Exactly. If you feel confident that your personal information is genuinely secure, you're going to feel much more comfortable in engaging more deeply with that brand.
Okay, so it's not about picking personalization or privacy. It's about finding that that really delicate middle ground where both can somehow coexist, maybe even make each other stronger. But how do brands actually do that, practically speaking? How do you get that balance without compromising one at the other?
Yeah, this is where strategic data collection really comes into play. It's critical. Brands should focus, like laser focus, on collecting only the data that is absolutely essential to deliver that relevant experience. Nothing more.
Only what's essential.
Yes, because there's this tendency for companies to just hoard data, collect absolutely everything they can, just in case.
All right, the data grab.
But collecting excessive data isn't just a privacy red flag for consumers. It can actually make marketing less effective.
How so?
Because you end up with this flood of irrelevant noise, this data deluge, that can actually hide the genuinely useful insights. It makes it harder to see what really matters to a specific customer. So, minimizing the data you collect, it drastically cuts the risk of privacy breaches, and it often leads to a sharper, more focused, more impactful personalization strategy.
Okay, that makes sense. Less noise, clearer signal.
Exactly. And it also means consistently respecting customer autonomy, giving people genuine choice over what they share and when they share it. This means offering clear, intuitive ways to manage preferences. And this is important, ensuring that if someone does opt out of personalization, they don't suddenly get a terrible, subpar service experience.
Yeah. Don't punish people for wanting privacy.
Precisely. It's about respecting boundaries, even while you're trying hard to create those experiences that feel perfectly tailor-made.
So, when you strip it all back, this whole conversation, personalization versus privacy, it really just boils down to something much more fundamental, doesn't it? It's about building, lasting, trusting relationships with your customers.
That's the core of it.
What customers really want deep down is just the confidence that their data is being handled responsibly, that their trust in a brand is actually well placed.
And it's crucial to remember, this isn't like a one-time fix. Check the box. Done.
Right. It's ongoing.
It's an ongoing, dynamic process. Brands need to consistently embrace transparency, genuinely empower customers to manage their own data preferences, and be really mindful and precise about the data they collect. If they do that consistently, they can keep delivering those incredibly relevant, personalized experiences without ever crossing that creepy line. And when that's done right, over time, it creates much deeper connections, fosters way greater customer loyalty, and ultimately, it builds a much more sustainable brand for the long haul.
A sustainable brand built on trust.
Okay, awesome, guys. Thank you so much. And that's a wrap, everybody. Stay tuned, okay, on PaM++ Brand Talk Podcast and see what we have for you next time. Until then, cheers.